And the Emmy goes to Gordon Clapp.
Actor Gordon Clapp won an Emmy in 1998 for his portrayal of Detective Greg Medavoy in ABC's critically acclaimed drama NYPD Blue.
See, that was a busy vacant lot last night. Another homicide victim was dumped there, and it's your bad luck that culprit is prepared to testify on you to lessen his own predicament. No.
A role that lasted 12 seasons.
We don't need no DNA proof, Calvin, because we got an eyewitness.
The North Conway native didn't forget his hometown roots when he took home the trophy.
And to my family back in New England, thank you.
It's really true that it's such an honor to be nominated. That's the real honor. But the thrill is winning. I mean, there's just nothing like it.
Gordon Clapp was born September 24th, 1948 in North Conway. He has two sisters and a younger brother. Though his career has taken him to LA, Canada, and New York, New Hampshire is still home.
This little building here was the Carol Reed Ski Shop.
Very famous.
Yes. My mother was the head of mail order at Carol Reed's. Go on.
We caught up with Gordon, his sister Polly, brother Ian, and best friend Winky on Main Street in downtown North Conway. First stop, Horse Feathers Restaurant, where Gordon was easily recognized by old friends. Gordon's friends and family still live in the area. They all grew up in a neighborhood at the bottom of Kearsarge North. This is the first time Gordon and Winky have seen each other in a while, but they pick up right where they left off.
Yes, Gordon's been dramatic ever since I can remember. I remember being
a drama queen.
Yep.
My whole life.
See, he's taking over. See, I remember being in kindergarten where he was entertaining other kids, where he would run around the play yard and he would make people laugh. He always wanted to make people laugh and entertain.
Gordon's interest in entertaining really blossomed at age 12 when he got his first job at a local theater in the musical Happy Time.
My very first equity theater job was as a 12-year-old in North Conway. We had a little small equity theater, summer stock. My father used to do little parts in the plays there. You know, he was a local radio personality, and he saw me in a version of Tom Sawyer in junior high, and said I think you've got some talent.
After college, Gordon joined a theater group in Canada, eventually landing a role in a Don Adams television sitcom called Check It Out.
Don Adams said, "You're funny. Could we bring you back?" I said, "It would be my pleasure."
Movie roles followed. And then a hit miniseries starring opposite Farrah Fawcett, a true story about a mother who shot her kids. It was called Small Sacrifices.
Are you married?
Yeah. Why?
I'm just gonna need someone to be with when this is over.
But it was the gritty, realistic ABC police drama, NYPD Blue, that brought stardom and a coveted Emmy.
I was a guest role, but I thought, this character has a desk in the squad room, and maybe if I'm really good, I can come back next week and sit at that desk, and the week after, and it did.
Pride from his family back home in North Conway.
It was just the most unbelievable thing. I mean, hometown boy makes good.
The only other sound was the sweep of easy wind and downy flake.
But Gordon's first love remains theater and his favorite poet, New Hampshire's Robert Frost. For 10 years, Gordon has brought Frost to life in the play Robert Frost, This Verse Business. Most recently performed at Peterborough Players.
She says, "I should have called it something you somehow happen to deserve." I see now how far you can carry that. Talking politics now. Well, I think his voice resonated to me very early. You know, I heard him at the inauguration. There were recordings that I heard of him that sounded like the people I grew up with, very much like the older people in the White Mountains where I grew up. And people are captivated when they come and see it. They really, it's almost like they're kidnapped. You know, I mean, there are a number of them, as I say, who come here because they love Frost and they can't wait to hear the certain poems. But other ones are really surprised that, oh, I didn't know he was that funny.
He said, oh, well, that's a nice thing to do if you're not very well.
From the small stage to the Great White Way, Clapp's next stop is To Kill a Mockingbird on Broadway in New York this spring.
I think really the best theater happens in the regions overall. But the thrill of being on Broadway, and if you get a really good ensemble cast, there's nothing like it.
It's a long way from those nights when Gordon and his younger brother Ian shared a bedroom, and at night it became their stage.
He played Grandpa and I was grandson.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I was the older one.
Yeah. And what did we do? I forgot about that one.
Yeah. Oh, we just
Tell stories. We just.
Well, you were just ornery. So.
I was mean.
You were mean.
I was mean, the mean grandpa. And I don't know, we just do that for hours.
We do it in the dark.
Gordon and his wife Elizabeth divide their time between Boston and Norwich, Vermont. But from stage, films, and television, Gordon Clapp has never forgotten his New Hampshire roots. Plus, he has this crew to keep him in line.
Whenever he goes out there and tries to act like he's something or somebody else, it's like, no,
he pulls the rug right out.
No, you're still from northern New Hampshire. You know, you're a local. You're not gonna fool anybody.
He's very humble. He's very gracious. He's very down to earth. I'm proud of him, very proud of him and all he's done. But he's just my brother.